Alright, welcome to the game. Here we have mkengyn from Team RS versus Precipice from Team Stoic. This is from the CEVO Week 7 Team League. And let's get this game on the way. I'm Basement Cat, and you're listening to L2SC cast of this CEVO tournament. And with me is Iced.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. As Basement mentioned, this is pretty much late in the CEVO Season 1. They've only got about 8 weeks, so this is actually the first set of the 7th week. So there isn't a lot of games left. The playoffs should be coming around any minute, but just trying to get back into casting after the long break that we've taken. So mkengyn, I don't know, the Zerg player spawning in the 9 o'clock is playing for Team RS, and the northern spawn is Precipice for Team Stoic is the Red Terran. So it's a best of 3 series. These players will play, each teammate will play a best of 3, and then the winners of those will basically continue on, and whoever wins the most sets out of 4. So it is possible to go to a 2-2 tie, and then it'll go a tiebreaker where the captains each pick a player. So just thought we'd get these replays up here, get them casted, and then hopefully pick up the playoffs out of the live cast, or more replays for that matter. So looking forward to getting that. And as Precipice is setting up his wall with the bunker racks on the high ground there, Zerg fast expanding on 13.
Yeah, Precipice just getting a second barracks down, so he's going for a 2 barracks build right now. I don't know if he knows that the expansion is there. No, he hasn't even sent a scouting SCV, so he knows that there might be something there, but he just has to find out and make sure. So he's going to send a SCV probably to go and scout that very soon, and I think that'll be the determining factor in whether he either goes for a double barracks marine rush with some SCVs to assist and go for some bunkers, or if he goes just for a simple 2 racks expand. That's also something very common you'll see on Lost Temple, just because of the long-ish rush distance from base to base. That sure, they are spawning on close ground positions, but regardless, I mean, Lost Temple is a big map, and it's not going to matter too much if he goes for a fast expand in this map. But of course, if he goes for the rush, that will cause mkengyn to be really afraid, going to be shivering in his seat, because that marine rush is deadly towards Zerg. So he is getting his spawning pool there almost completed, and nothing quite yet come from Precipice. Oh no, he is making a whole bunch of marines as well as a bunker, so he is going to go for the 2 racks bunker rush, but leaving the bunker there to not do anything, as a spine crawler is being placed right in front of there. So now he's actually going to go and commit to this in just a couple seconds.
Yeah, Precipice just getting set up out this front now, forcing the drones of mkengyn off of working, which is always a great idea. Less drones, less money. Trying to snipe that building SCV, won't get it. The SCV does cross the other side, so the bunker does get finished. It is out of range of the spine crawler, any significant placement, so Precipice isn't going to be able to take too much advantage of this. The spine crawler will get done before the next bunker gets done, so that will basically force the other bunker to cancel. Yep, so it's just going to be a bit of a contain for Precipice right now. Queen's out for mkengyn. He's got 1 in production, 1 on the low ground, and nothing actually coming out yet. This rush is doing well. It's delaying the Zergling speed for mkengyn, making sure that he is basically a little slower when fighting the Terran in open ground. This bunker is going to take some pretty good damage. Salvage coming down on that from the spine crawlers. It pokes away at that. Bunker salvage is gone, and Marines being rallied away. So Precipice is going to throw up his command center and start macroing up. He's going to throw down a 3rd and 4th racks as well. So he's going to be on 4 racks here. So we might see a more aggressive follow-up as he does look to expand himself as well. Bunker on the low ground set up for Precipice as well.
Yeah, with these 4 barracks, I don't think there's a mech play in the works here for Precipice. Of course, mech play not exactly renowned to be a well thought out plan against the Zerg player. They tend to go mostly bio, especially since Zerg are normally weak at the beginning to bio, and then maybe if the Terran gets to a late game scenario, really it might actually be game over for him, because Zerg are renowned for having that fabulous late game mechanics where you're able to quickly do lightning fast tech switches, because as soon as you lose your army, you can rebuild an entire different one in a matter of seconds. But Precipice is going to do a little bit of pressure here on mkengyn, and that's really where it comes down to. That's where the nose meets the grinding stone. And it's the task of the Terran player to try and get rid of this Zerg threat before it gets too late into the game, or else the Zerg will just become unstoppable. Unless, of course, mkengyn decides for some odd reason not to expand at all and just to remain on 2 base for the rest of the game, or remain on equivalent bases to the Terran player. And at that point, yeah, for sure, the Zerg just won't have enough production capacity to keep up with the force of the Terran. But he is building a Baneling's Nest right now, so we may be seeing a short end to this game in a moment, unless the Terran player can either make a good move or the Zerg player can use those Banelings extremely effectively. But Precipice already getting rid of a whole bunch of Zerglings, as well as a scan to get rid of these creep tumors. That's not going to be great for the Zerg player, especially if he's going Banelings. He's going to need that extra creep for the speed. And especially when Stim gets completed for the Terran player Precipice, which he just started researching, as well as Marine Shields, that creep's going to be even more valuable. So good job there by Precipice to make sure to cut down the effectiveness of the Zerg player on this map right now.
Yeah, I noticed mkengyn started with a Roach Warren, actually, then canceled and switched into Baneling Nest once he realized the Terran is obviously going for a bio play there, so that's a good response. 3 bunkers for the Terran, so he's well defended. It's a shame. I believe if Precipice would have taken that opportunity to follow through on that attack, he did have numbers prior to Banelings being completed, and could have done some significant damage, I believe, to the Zerg, but now he's kind of on the defensive. The Zergling speed is finished. His Marines running away are going to get shredded down. Zerglings meet the bunkers. They all go down right there, so that's it for them. Spire started from mkengyn, so it'll be the standard Baneling, Zergling, Mutalisk combination. One thing I really like about mkengyn, he's got that macro queen, so he's got an extra queen's third queen, basically just spawning creep tumors. So that's a really neat way to just stay ahead on creep, even though he did lose that scan. That scan basically took out a couple of creep tumors that you find a lot of Zergs won't continue to push the creep, but mkengyn's using that extra queen just to do precisely that. So he's getting his base set up, a few more workers transferring over to the natural. Marines just trying to challenge the creep in the middle, but not able to do too much, and the Banelings, Zerglings are going to force them off the watchtower as they retreat or head towards their base again. It looks like a macro hatchery, a third hatch going down right now on the high ground for mkengyn. So he is going to have an extra little buffer here, like you were saying, to help compensate for that lack of larvae, to be able to overtake the Terran here. He's going to get that third hatch up. It's a great way to make sure that he doesn't fall behind here.
Yeah, another thing is I saw the factory go up there quickly, and then I was assuming that he'd go straight to medevac, and that is indeed what he's doing. He's going straight to medevac, although the interesting thing, he is building a tech lab onto his factory, so possibly a little bit of late game notion coming from our Terran player, as he may be going for some late games, or mid, right now it's only the 11th minute, so I mean, maybe some mid-game shenanigans with the tank play, and then he'll be able to effectively dissipate the power of the Baneling as well as the Zergling combo. But there are Mutalisks here, so the tank's probably the yummiest, delicious, most scrumptious meal for the Mutalisk, so you'll be just waiting to see those get onto the field, and then you go nom nom nom, chewing it down. And there we go, Zerglings now moving in to take out some of these Marines. They do get lifted off by the medevac though, so good job there by Precipice to not lose too many units, but of course, Mutalisks going and taking down medevacs, which is their second favorite meal of the day. And those Mutalisks not full enough, they're still waiting, and they're really hungry for more.
Yeah, Mutalisks shoot glaive worms, and I wonder, because they're so slim, where they get all these glaive worms from. But basically, they're definitely a force to be reckoned with. So the Mutalisk are pushing in and harassing the bunkers on the high ground for Precipice, so it's going to cause him to pull his Marines back, forces a stim there out of the Marines. One medevac's up, so it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for that medevac to recoup those Marines. Great setting up of missile turrets here, so Precipice has got his base basically as covered as can be. Tech Lab has finished siege mode research. Tank is out, but it's trapped actually inside. Oh, he has to lift the factory off and move it. So he's relocating the factory, going to take out the Tech Lab. So it's a little bit of a miss Sim City there, as He does have to move the factory to get his siege tank out, so he'll be rebuilding that. This is letting the Zerg get even more ahead, as you can see the 6 o'clock and Ninja expansion going down from mkengyn, taking the natural of the 6 o'clock expansion. Drones already being transferred over there. It was scouted by that SCV on the high ground of the 6 o'clock expansion, but he is contained. The Terran player Precipice, is contained, of course, and mkengyn's going to be able to freely expand down there and get onto 4 hatch, which is, wow, Baneling Zergling push way coming in there. Marines getting back behind the bunker cover. One bunker's not even loaded. Lots of Marines down. Siege tanks down. And the Mutalisk are forced to retreat as Marine numbers are still a little high here. More Zerglings, Banelings in the middle, but doesn't look like Precipice is going to challenge the Banelings. There they go. And one Baneling Cocoon goes down. Mutalisk are going to clean up the remaining Marine. Medevac's not in position to help, and those are forced to be pulled away. And again, Precipice is trying to recover as the Zerg force continues to grow, and his macro gets even stronger.
A little bit of careless play there from our Terran player Precipice, losing those Marines. He really should have kept those medevacs on with them. And, well, even attacking, I think, was a little bit of a mistake, just because, you know, there are Mutalisks in the air. There are a substantial number of Zerg forces, but there we go, Mutalisk trying to poke in a little bit more. This is the way the Mutalisks need to be played. And there we go, Zerglings actually surrounding the Marines, taking them all out. No problem there, but there we go, the delicious meal for the Mutalisk, taking down the siege tank. And look at that. That is so easy here for the Zerg player. Zerg player really getting on the roll, really on the ball. He is getting a third base up at the 12 o'clock or 6 o'clock expansion, as well as macroing up considerably more than the Terran player. He is 1,700 minerals per minute compared to the Terran player, which is only 1,200. Of course, the 1,200 is probably from mules, but I don't see any, so a little bit of oversaturation possibly on both these bases. You see there's a whole bunch of SCVs hopping around. And look at that armory actually being placed here by Precipice, so either he could be going for Thors, because Thors tank Baneling damage quite well as they deal with Mutalisks quite well. The only thing they have to worry about is Zerglings, but if you have some Marines there to help with the Zerglings, you have a pretty good combination. So maybe some Thor Marine might be on the way, but it might be a little bit too late to do a tech switch like that since he has siege tanks already. But we'll just have to wait and see. He is still continuing to build siege tanks, so another notion is that the armory is just there for some upgrades.
Yeah, it looks like mkengyn's going to have to deal with this push into the middle a little bit here, but it looks like actually mkengyn is going to deal with it by just all-inning, heading straight up into the natural here. Looks like the Baneling's following up, going to get the Marines. Yeah, significant damage. Bunker goes down, lots of Mutalisks left. They cleaned up most of the Marines. There's a handful of Mutalisks left. They're going to get the remaining bunker on the low ground as well as the siege tank on the high ground. Nope. There's just one siege tank left alive and a burning turret on the high ground that will most likely fall unless repaired. So again, just another really powerful push by mkengyn. Greater Spire under construction right now for mkengyn, so he's probably going to get onto Brood Lords pretty quickly and be able to shut this down once and for all. But more Zerglings streaming in, that's going to be a good game, and Precipice loses the first game to Team RS and mkengyn, so we'll be right back for the second game.
Oh yeah.